Good evening, students. I have prepared a lecture explaining to you Sonnet 94, which is prescribed for your general English subject. And the reason for doing it this way is to give you all a better clarity about Sonnet 94, as it is a little complicated, but it is again giving you a message to understand the sonnet, which is again a masterpiece of Shakespeare. Now, before we understand about Shakespeare, it is good to know about Shakespeare, about his sonnets, the background to it, and then coming to Sonnet 94. Now, if you focus on the sonnet, it is written by William Shakespeare, and Shakespeare was the person who was born, or you can say his lifespan was from 1564 to 1616. And 1564 is again debatable because, as per majority of the resources, it is said that he was baptized in the year 1564. And it was during this time that the invention of the printing press happened. And at those times, novel was not that popular. Reason being, having so many manuscripts uh, printed and then doing was a expensive affair. So we could see that poems were written and they were read out, and everybody enjoyed them. The script was written, it was acted, and Shakespeare, we could see that he was a poet, he was a playwright, and he was a actor. And Shakespeare was so famous that he is called as the national poet of England, and he's given the name as England's poet. Shakespeare has written altogether 39 plays, 154 sonnets, and 2 long narratives. Now, there has been a lot of debate about authorship because during the time of Renaissance and the time when Shakespeare was writing, there was a lot of collaborative work that was happening. So, whole soul, who has composed this work, was again a matter of concern. So, broadly, if we talk about his compositions, they were 39 plays, 154 sonnets, and 2 long narratives. Now, the interesting part is these 154 sonnets which Shakespeare has written. Out of these, 126, as per our knowledge, they are written for the fair youth. And there are 28 sonnets which are addressed to the dark lady. So we even don't know whether it is autobiographical in nature. It is Shakespeare who is the sharing or describing his feelings, but still we can say that if we want to categorize, and as researchers have been exploring Shakespeare, he is dedicating it to the fair youth, 126 sonnets, and 28 sonnets to the dark lady. Now, Shakespearean sonnets, they have a particular structure and form. So you will notice that the themes for which he wrote the sonnets, they revolved around time. He wrote sonnets related to time, love, beauty, and morality. So out of the 154 sonnets that you take, you will see that majorly the themes are revolving around all these 4. They are 14 lines, short, but with a lot of meaning and message. They are in the form which is called as iambic pentameter. Now, iambic pentameter means there will be a sentence which is divided into 10 syllables. For your paper, for your examination, based on general English, you can just mention iambic pentameter, which means the sentence is divided into 10 syllables. Now, how do you understand syllables is just like, say, for example, the word sonnet. So the sound is in 2 syllables, sonnet. So when you read one line out of the 14 lines, you will see that there are 10 syllables. If you're pronouncing and if you're articulating and reading it in the right manner, you will see that each line is a iambic. It's an iambic pentameter. It has got the rhyme scheme AB, AB. It's divided into 3 quatrains. 3 quatrains means 14 lines poem divided into 3 quatrains, which means 12 lines. And the last 2 lines are the couplet. Now, broadly, you will see that the Shakespearean sonnets in this lecture of mine, I'm just going to focus, as I told you earlier also, I'm focusing on a little bit about Shakespeare, his sonnets, and what do the sonnets mean in general. So one last point to be discussed over here is the form and what is it that is broadly discussed in the sonnet. So the first 12 lines, that is the 3 quatrains, they discuss about thought. They are trying to maybe tell us a scenario, a situation, or they are building up the premise of whatever Shakespeare has to say. And you can say it's like a metaphor. It's just like how you start saying a story. And then in all these 3 quatrains, all of this is happening. And when we reach towards the end, when we complete the 3 quatrains, we reach to the last 2 lines, which are called the couplet. So again, just doing a quick recap, we talked about Shakespeare's birth, we talked about his era, we talked about his works dedicated to, we talked about the structure and the form of sonnets in general. So please do watch my upcoming 2 more lectures for the same topic, in which I will be discussing the quatrains in lecture number 2. And in lecture number 3, I will be discussing about the themes and the full explanation of the overall sonnet. So thank you.